Hi, my name is Chef Sasha.
And I'm Dr. Ali.
And I'm Jackie Solomon.
Welcome to Nourishing at Home. Hi, my name is Chef Sasha. Welcome to Nourishing at Home, sponsored by the Seeds to Inspire Foundation. I'm so thrilled to be here with you today. And our first recipe that we're going to share is actually one that I think a lot of us will probably find very familiar. You're hungry at the end of the day. You have all these random odds and ends in your refrigerator and no real way to make them a cohesive, satisfying, nourishing meal. I hope that this recipe resonates with you the way it does in my home. This has turned into a go-to. I went ahead and already cleaned out my fridge. As you can tell, I love a lot of vegetables and I love a lot of colors. I always say eat with the rainbow, eat with your eyes. And for me, this is what's really attractive. So this is usually what I start with. We have a variety of vegetables here that represent a variety of nutrients that very often we don't get to reach for or find in our day-to-day diet. Beautiful red bell peppers, purple cabbage, delicious thin-skinned English cucumbers, some shredded carrot. We have some leafy greens here, and then a few aromatics, some lemons and some onion and juicy tomatoes. What are we gonna make? I call this my fridge clean out wrap, but you could probably call it something that doesn't sound so last minute as it often is in my house. The easiest part of this is that very often you can make this with what was perhaps on your grocery list from the week before. Some extra tortillas that didn't make the cut for taco night or burrito night, and a little bit of hummus. I don't know about you, but I always buy too much hummus. It always looks so good, and then I don't have any idea what I'm gonna do with all of it. So this might be a great recipe for you too. We're gonna go ahead and turn on our stove. And as that's warming, slice up a few veggies. As you can tell, I still have quite a bit done here already, but when you're slicing your veggies, I think it's mostly important just to realize that the format you're gonna put them into, in our case, we're gonna put them in a wrap, we don't want them to be too chunky or the wrap doesn't close, and we don't want them to be cut in directions that may not work with how we have to wrap it. What do I mean by that? I mean that we could have cut our bell pepper more like this, but putting this into a wrap versus putting something nice and long that would be easier to wrap, I would prefer something like this and prefer working with something like that. So when you're cutting, go ahead and think about those things. This is a great task for young kids as well. There are a lot of really great child-friendly knives out there that are just made out of wood or plastic that work really well with softer vegetables like this. So to our pan's nice and hot right now. We're gonna go ahead and add in and warm our tortillas. If you don't wanna do this on a pan or this feels like a little bit more work than you're feeling at that time, you can wrap them in a warm towel, pop them in the microwave, or just steam them for a little bit. All right, I'm gonna use 2 wraps because I'm hungry and usually I'm a make one, serve twice. So if I use 2 wraps to wrap this, then both myself and my family are both gonna get a serving. So I have my 2 wraps. I'm gonna lay them out in front of me and take a little bit of my store-bought hummus. Now, store-bought hummus, some of the things you wanna look out for is what type of oil they're using, how much they're using, and how can you tell how much they're using? Usually based on where it is on your ingredient list, how close it is to being the first ingredient usually determines how much they're using. If you have the interest and the time, this is a great recipe for homemade hummus as well. So I'm gonna be pretty generous here because hummus, I don't know if most people know this, is made out of chickpeas. And for someone like myself that does not eat animal-based proteins, this is a really great way to fill me up, give me lots of fiber, and also lots of really energy-rich nutrients. And now we're gonna build. So a little bit of greens at the bottom. I like to be really strategic with how I pair them, so This is probably just a me thing, but I don't like to put green on green. So my next layer is probably gonna be something that's very vibrant, like this purple, and then perhaps some juicy red tomato, a little bit of white onion. And you can fill this with whatever you have as well. You know, these are the vegetables that I had in my kitchen, but they may not be what your family would choose. A little bit of cucumber, and then I'm gonna put a big juicy squirt of lemon over top. Now, I normally find that I have enough seasoning in here just from the hummus to where I don't need to add anything else. But if you made your own hummus at home or you felt like you needed a little bit more, a great salt-free seasoning works really well. A little shredded carrot for good measure. All right, so let's wrap over the sides and then tuck and roll and give it a little cut. And we have this absolutely inviting and beautiful wrap. Let's get this plated. Now, one of my favorite ways to plate and serve this would just be with a little bit of fruit on the side. I love something crunchy with my sandwiches, with my wraps. Honestly, I think I love something crunchy all the time, and fruit is such a great way to go with that. So and here we go. A little fridge forage wrap from my kitchen to yours.
I can't wait for you guys to try this.
Look at the
That looks so beautiful.
right? Look at
And
that.
it was so quick. That was what was
Cheers.
neat. Cheers to Sasha.
And cleaning out the fridge.
That's so good.
Look at that.
Remember, I don't really like raw onion. This is so amazing. Like, really good.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you guys liked it.
It's simple and it's such an explosion of flavor. Wow. Thank you. This
You're
is
so
yummy.
welcome. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for nourishing at home with us.
See you next time.